Thank you for that. All right, make sure you have MREA with you today and also Shift. We're going to be working from both books. So this is your playbook. We are all working to become millionaire real estate agents. That means we are on a path to gross $1 million, net $1 million, receive $1 million, and then give away $1 million, because I walk like, talk like, look like, and have the checkbook of a millionaire real estate agent. Cool. Now, on page 40 of MREA, Gary Keller says you can have a doctorate in real estate, outfox a professional litigator in a contract negotiation, appraise property better than anyone in your market, and have more financial knowledge packed in your head than a mortgage guru, and it won't do you a lick of good without clients. To succeed in real estate, you must have client leads. It's just that simple. Until you have enough leads to meet or exceed your goals, there is no other issue. Now, let me break that down to a daily conversation. Until you have hit your daily standard for contacts, that means conversations, until you have hit your daily standard for how many people you're going to add to your database every day, until you've hit your daily standard for appointments scheduled, everything else is a distraction. Now, question, what are you hearing? Take yourself off mute. There's 14 of you. You can just talk or hit your little digital hand there and I'll call on you. And what are you hearing? You've heard me say this many, many times, and I just want to slow down for a moment and ask you, what are you hearing? What does this mean to you? Talk to me, Kim.
Oh, to me, it just means lead generation is the number one thing. It's my one thing. And until that's done, nothing else matters. Everything else is a distraction.
Okay. Is that simple or is that hard?
It's simple and hard.
Okay. All right, good. Let's keep going. Why? Why is it simple and why is it hard? And there's no right or wrong answer to a question like that, by the way, because I'm asking for an opinion. Why is it simple?
Well,
why is it hard?
It's simple because it's really just one thing that you have to focus on, and it's hard to do because it's not something that I love spending 3 to 4 hours on, and so it's easy to get distracted.
There it is. It's hard because we don't necessarily enjoy it and because there's lots of distractions. Yeah, 100% correct. What's the solution to overcoming the boredom of lead generation and saying no to the distractions? That's for everybody and anybody. Diane. Time blocking is one of the answers. It's correct. What else? The question is, what is the solution for overcoming the boredom of lead generation and saying no to the distractions?
I don't know if time blocking is the answer. I mean, time blocking is important, but I don't know if that handles the boredom or the obedience or discipline to the action.
Well,
so
Michael,
I'm hoping you've got something for us.
Yeah, Michael, you're right. And that's why.
Ooh, Mr. Kyle.
Hold on one second, guys. All right, so here, let me get back on track. Time blocking is part of the answer. It's not wrong, but there's
Right.
more. Diane.
My big why.
Tell me what you mean by that. So Diane says her why. The question was, what is the answer when it comes to overcoming the boredom of lead generation and saying no to the distractions? And Diane said her big why. Okay,
Why? You're asking me?
go
why?
deeper. Yes.
Well, because the whole reason why you're doing all of this, because obviously we're not getting a paycheck every week. It's, you know, you're setting goals. Your goals start with where do you want to go, short-term and long-term goals, and getting excited about getting and reaching your goals should take away the boredom of lead generation, because you're getting excited to getting closer to the yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And we have two hands up, and Rashad, you're first, and then Millie. Think about the Disney story that I shared with you, the Disney story that is in Rainmaker. Think about that story when I'm asking you this question. The question is, how do you overcome the boredom of lead generation? Do you think I got bored looking for Colin when he was lost 4 years old in Disney? Do you think I got distracted? It's not about me, it's a conversation. Rashad, your hand was up, but I don't see it up
Yeah,
anymore.
my hand was
there it
up. I was just gonna add on to what Diane was
Please
saying.
do.
Basically, you know, it's the big why, and falling in love with the process. You know, the process is what it is, and you know, setting your goals and just falling in love, checking off the boxes. You know, I booked an appointment today. I got, you know, 2 people on my database today, and then being on attached to the outcome. I feel like when we're attached to the outcome, then we get really frustrated when we have bad days.
Okay, really good stuff, guys. Make sure you're taking notes on this because I'm hearing some really good answers. Don't be attached to the outcome. There's one of the answers. Gamify it is another answer. Have fun in this process. Turn it into a game and play to win. Now, you win the game of lead generation when you hit your standards. This is an infinite game. It's not a finite game. A finite game has an ending. This doesn't. This is a game that lasts forever. Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game. Read the book. The goal of the game is to stay in the game, not to win the game. Millie, then Carolyn, and then Shirley. Brian, you're in that list. But the ladies are going to come first. Sorry. Millie, go.
I was just going to say, just to keep in mind, like why, exactly what Diane said, like what's your why, and have that motivation that, you know, every no that you get or every negative that you get, you are coming closer to the yes. And just saying your affirmations every day, you know, I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me, and so it is.
There's another great note to take. So how do I overcome the boredom? How do I stay focused? Affirmations are absolutely part of the answer. Carolyn, Shirley, and then Brian.
Well, basically, what I'm hearing is lead with purpose. When you lead with purpose, or as we set our one thing, the one thing is bigger than ourselves, then it's not an end game. It's kind of like when you speak about the goal is to make the million, then be able to give away $1 million. So the purpose and the one thing is to focus along those lines. You know that you continue, every lead is with a purpose in mind. So keep pushing through and pushing through and pushing through. So boredom doesn't become
there you go.
The factor, but it becomes a mute point for what you have to accomplish.
There you go. Good job. Bring passion to the game. Shirley.
2 things that I got from a plant-based eating group, actually. It says, set your environment up so you never have to fight with it. It says your environment has you perfectly set up for success. So yes, we can time block, we can have our big why, but KW have so much. So even with making your calls, there's a group where you can get on and make your calls. Everybody's on mute and we do it together. So how am I going to surround myself to be successful, to do the things that I sometimes don't want to do?
Yeah. If I could somehow watch every single one of you lead generate every day, and you know, I'm on camera and I'm watching you. Are you hitting your standards? Or are you settling for less than you could have? All you could do is all you could do, and all you could do is enough. When you do all you could do, would you do all you could do if somebody was watching you? Nice job, Shirley. Brian.
Thank you, John. Changing the perception. So everyone starts with lead generation is boring. And that's a thought, right? That's a mindset. And that's a perception. If you can change that and everyone would say, I love lead generation, you'd be the odd one out if you said, well, I think it's boring.
So Brian's saying be different, be weird. And I 100% agree with that. And by the way, I'm that person in that room. When you're at a training event and the instructor says, who loves lead generation? Everybody's laughing and I'm putting my hand up, right? I love it. And it's true, I do. Yeah. Okay. Did I get to all the hands? I think I did. If your hand is up and I didn't call on you, please just take yourself off mute and talk to me.
John.
Yes, Michael.
So, you know, I was doing that to play devil's advocate, right?
I know you were.
And I think, you know, a lot of people have mentioned a lot of great things, not focusing on the outcome, but knowing that the outcome is there is also a great motivator, right? Like when you get a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 check.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, I am on a journey with a destination that is assured. Yeah, it's not a goal. It's going to happen. In my mind, it's already happened. I just have to finish the journey. Remember, time is something that we created. Time doesn't exist outside this little tiny picture that we live in. We created it. When you look at it like that, the outcome has already happened. You just have to complete the journey. It's up to you. It's a choice. And I've said this many, many times, success is a choice. So I want to take the first paragraph that I shared with you from MREA that got us focused on the importance of lead generation that led to the conversation. How do we overcome the boredom of lead generation and how do we keep from being distracted? Now I'm going to go to page 49 of Shift. Just because the market has moved from more to less doesn't necessarily mean you have to. As leads become fewer, you must recognize the situation and make a more concerted effort to generate them. You must be more rigorous and more resolute in your lead generation than ever before, and more so than anyone else. So now, how does this change the answer? If it does, and if it doesn't, that's cool. How does this change the answer from the first paragraph we read from page 40 of MREA? It's the same conversation. It's just a conversation taking into account that we're in a market that's shifting. I shared during our team meeting yesterday in Coral Springs that in Broward County, from June to August, there were 1,000 fewer sales closed in August than there were in June. The number of units closed decreased by 22.2%. And there are more real estate agents competing for those same closings, not less real estate agents. And as a matter of fact, right now, there are more people that are in school to get their real estate license than any other time in the history of the National Association of Realtors. So things are going to get more competitive and there's going to be more real estate agents competing for fewer sales. Now, how does that affect your answer to the first paragraph from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Put your hand up, talk to me.
You got to double down.
Double down. Lance, what does that mean?
To me, that means you got to double your lead gen time and make the most of your appointments.
Is it more of a lead generation conversation or more of a lead conversion conversation? Or is it both, and why?
I think it's absolutely both, because you can't have lead conversion without lead generation.
Okay. Do more real estate agents struggle with lead generation, or do more real estate agents struggle with lead conversion, and why? Shirley, you can
I
answer
didn't
the
have-
first. No,
I-
Clarissa, guys, that's the third time I've done that today. I'm sorry. I'm calling. If I call you by the wrong name, please don't feel bad. I've done it 3 times today. Clarissa, I did.
I'm definitely not insulted. She's a beautiful woman.
I agree, but
So I think we're micromanaging it and saying lead generation, but I think it's creating habits that sustain during the shift.
okay.
And whatever those habits are, whatever those standards are, making sure you have the good habits and those habits sustain
Okay.
the shift.
Okay. Rashad.
To answer your question about I forgot what the question was necessarily, but I think it's, really lead conversion. A lot of people don't follow up, and we tend to take no as an answer rather than say, okay, talk to you next week, or it was a great pleasure speaking to you, I look forward to meeting you, or something like that. We all just take no and run with it.
Okay. I actually wasn't thinking about that. And that's good. Rashad, you changed the way I'm looking at the answer. Good job. Michael Topo.
I still think it's lead gen,
Okay.
right? Everybody knows somebody, right? Like, not necessarily the conversion, like, oh, my sister's cousin is a real estate agent, I'm going to give them the listing. There's not very much skill in that regard to convert that into a listing. But I still think it's lead generation, right? Most people don't realize that lead generation is your #1 goal in real estate, right? Doctors don't realize that. Accountants don't realize that. All these other industries understand, okay, the function of the job, but they don't understand how to get their clients. So I still think it's lead generation. So going back to Lance's conversation, it's you've got to double down. You've got to have more leads. MREA states that you need more leads, right? Conversion is massively important, but you need the leads to convert.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the conversation that we're having. I don't think that there's a right answer or a wrong answer to this.
Just to add to that,
Please do. Go.
like one of our other callers said in the beginning of this conversation, you need the discipline. Michael might have said it. You need the discipline to lead generate. So that's why I believe that lead generation is harder, because you've got to dedicate the time, and most people don't dedicate the time. They don't lock themselves in a room, seal off all of their distractions, and focus only on lead generating.
So, yes. And here's my thought on this. Lead generation is the bigger challenge. And I'm going to share with you why I think that. Because if I said the definition of lead generation is 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17, it's 20 conversations. It is 20 conversations every day, 50 weeks, 250 days at 20 conversations, 5,000 conversations in a year, focused on getting an appointment, adding somebody to your database, or getting a referral. So if I define lead generation as 20 conversations a day or 5,000 conversations a year, how many real estate agents are hitting that standard? That's lead generation. How many, as a percentage of the real estate agents that are working in our market, are hitting that standard? It's going to be a really low number, maybe 1%, maybe 2%. It's going to be a low number. Now, the other part of that is I'm adding one person to my follow-up funnel. This is the conversion conversation. So in a year's time, 50 weeks, I've added 250 people to my pipeline. These are people who are in follow-up. I've added one person every day, or plus 250 into my database as a new MET. Now let's take it to a daily conversation. Are you having 20 conversations every day? Are you adding one new person to your pipeline every day? Are you adding one new person to your database every day through prospecting, marketing, and working your database? So yes or no, are you hitting those numbers? Anyone?
No.
No.
I like when you always add whatever our number is, whatever our standard is.
Yep.
Am I doing that?
Yep. Yeah. Because it doesn't have to be 20, by the way. It might be 5. It could be 10. It could be 40. It's your number, not mine. Now, if you're hitting your number and you're still not getting the number of appointments that you need in order to achieve your goals, then it's a lead conversion conversation. It's always both, and it's always one or the other.
I know for a fact that mine is a lead generation problem because I have not acquired the discipline to seal off the distractions.
Okay. And as we shared earlier, part of the solution to finding that discipline, Lance, is to attach that to a big enough why that you won't settle for anything less than standard. By the way, a lot easier said than done because there's always tomorrow, right? If I go back to the Disney story and finding Colin when he was lost, there was no tomorrow. I couldn't say, well, I can't find him. I'll pick this up tomorrow. You know, the other analogy that I've used with you guys before is if we're out on a boat, the boat sinks 2 miles offshore. We've got one thing. It's not lead generation. It's swim to shore. But it's the same conversation. We still have one thing. And we're not going to swim half the way and say, well, that's pretty good. I'll just pick it up from here tomorrow. No, we drown. We're going to keep swimming until we get to shore. Now, if we were in lead generation every day, like we're swimming to shore, and shore is hitting your standard for daily conversations. Getting to shore is adding at least one person to your database. Getting to shore is scheduling at least one face-to-face appointment. Then all of us would build the biggest real estate business that we can possibly ever imagine. And it's right there. I mean, it's right in front of you. Now, you either will or you won't. And by the way, that's going to take us back to a conversation on why. If your why is big enough, you will. And if it's not, you won't. Same thing for me, guys. I'm in the same business as you are. I lead generate every day. And the market shifts for me as well. All right, give me your thoughts, ahas, questions. I want you to take page 40 of MREA and page 49 of Shift. And I just want you to reread those two paragraphs. And I want you to ask yourself the question, what is this saying to me? How does this apply to my real estate business? And how does the shift in the market affect my answers to what does lead generation look like for me? It can't be the same. If you're thinking that lead generation is the same in a shifting market as it is before the market shifts, you're using the wrong formula. You're not going to like the answers that you get. Just because there's less business doesn't mean there has to be less business for you. This saying, you guys have heard it, all tides, all ships rise and fall with a rising tide, is complete BS. It's not true. It's not true. If it was true, then everybody's real estate business would go up and down equal to the market. And when the market shifts from more to less, are there real estate agents who are selling more homes in a down market than they were when the market was doing really, really well? Say yes. Yes. So this all ships rise and fall thing is complete BS. Don't fall for it. Kim.
So I was just reflecting on this because I struggle hitting the 20 a day standard, and
everybody does.
Yeah. And I'm good with 10. I can hit 10. And so my productivity coach said, 10's not going to get you to your goals. Can you do 15? And what I was finding was when I was focusing on the 20 and I was so far away from it, I just would give up. And I'm sad to say that because my why is big.
I know it is.
For my family. So, and so I've been focusing on 15 and I'm hitting it and I'm sticking with it. And I'm going to push it up to 20 and higher as I go. And so that's been great. And the other thing I'm trying to expand my mind on ways to lead generate and not just, I like being behind the phone and not in person. And I've gotten good at that. And I need to get out and be in front of people more, not just to mix it up, because there aren't enough FSBOs and expireds to call right now. There just aren't. So not in my market anyway.
Not in anybody's market. And Kim, I'm so proud of you. I've worked with you as a coach, and I know your story, and I'm just really proud of you. And awesome job recognizing the fact that just getting on the phone and that's not the right choice of words, that getting on the phone alone is not enough in order to get you where you want to go. Recognizing the fact that you're not comfortable talking to people face to face and understanding that means there's an opportunity to get out there and knock on doors, that is going to get you closer to your goal 100%. And when you are out knocking on doors, you have an endless number. You will never run out of doors to knock on every single day. You could just go out and knock on doors, talk to people. The market is hot. Matter of fact, there are homes selling in your neighborhood in record time for record money. And there's buyers that are looking for great homes like yours. And just curious, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? You don't have to have a whole lot of scripts. That one will work. We have buyers looking for homes like yours. Who do you know that's thinking of selling? Simple script. There it is, right? Somebody was talking to me about Rainmaker, and they're like, John, this book is so easy to read and so direct. I love how you get to the point. And they actually said this book could be a lot thicker if you would tell more stories. And it's 124 pages because that's just not me. I'm a high D. I'm going to get to the point, and that's it. And that book does that. It gets to the point. I'm not going to take a script like there are buyers who are looking for homes like yours. Who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? I could take that script and turn it into 3 paragraphs And I'm just not going to do it because that doesn't make sense. Brian, sorry.
No, no. So I have a thought for Kim. So first of all, Kim, congrats on being able to move from just 10 conversations to 15 and having the foresight of maybe getting to 20 in the near future.
Yeah.
You shared a statement that you said that there's not enough leads in your market. And I don't know what your market is. Nice to meet you. But Lee Rosa shared with me something the other day that triggered for me. And he said, don't mistake movement for achievement. Basically, his whole thought was that, let's say you only have 30 people that you get from expired listings, right? There's nothing that stops someone from calling those people until they answer. There's nothing that stops someone from driving up to those homes, door knocking on them until you have that conversation. So even if the list is a little bit over 20 people, one should be able to have 20 conversations. It's just a thought.
Thank you, Brian. Absolutely.
Good point. I do stop when they don't answer.
Well, okay. How about go knock on their door? Why don't you take that list? It's just a thought. Take that list of expired listings, call them, yeah, and then go knock on their door as well. That's in my book. Shocker. There you go. Put urgent on the envelope. Absolutely. Put that envelope on the front door. Absolutely. Email the agent on any listings that you can't find contact information for the seller. The email to the agent is super simple. I'm contacting you in reference to your listing at 123 Main Street. I'm sure by now you know it's come off the market. If you plan on relisting your home, please ignore my email. If not, I would gladly pay you a referral fee of 25% for the seller's contact information. Copy and paste, send out 20 of those a day to real estate agents who have listings that have come off the market. It works. I promise you, I close 2 to 3 sales every single month just from that email. Now, I also got 2 or 3 agents who didn't like the email, but whatever.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, of course. So it's recording, by the way, so you guys can go back and watch the recording too. So the email simply says, I'm contacting you in reference. The only part that you have to change on your copy and paste is the address, of course. I'm contacting you in reference to your property at 123 Main Street. I'm sure by now you know the listing has come off the market. If you are planning on relisting this home, please ignore my email. If not, I would gladly pay you a referral fee of 25% for the seller's contact information.
That's brilliant. It's page 48.
Page 48 of Rainmaker, guys. Thank you, Clarissa. All right. Did you guys get your money's worth today? Don't forget it was free. Somebody one of these days is going to go, no, I want my money back. I'm like, all right, check is in the mail. All right, time to get to work. What's work? Work is 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17 conversations, because when you have 17 conversations, you didn't have the 18th conversation, which would have been $1 million listing that you didn't get because you didn't have the conversation. Make care calls, not sale calls. Always lead with gratitude. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate you. Bring value to every single conversation. When you're making your contacts, focus on getting an appointment, getting a referral, adding somebody to your database, and building a relationship. Find somebody today that is thinking of selling their home, whether it's next week, 30 days from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, doesn't matter, because a year from now, you're going to need listings. Meet with somebody today that is thinking of selling their home, and then follow up forever, because you reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember that people will not change their mind, but what they will do is make a new decision based on new information And when you follow up forever, you're creating emotional proximity, Methune coming to you. So when you follow up forever and that seller makes a new decision based on new information, that new information is going to be to hire me. Love it. Hey, by the way, if you ordered a copy of Rainmaker from me, personally signed by the author, good news. I've got notice from the publisher that my copies were finally shipped. They're due to arrive today. So if you're waiting on a copy from me, it'll be sent to you no later than tomorrow, FedEx. If you were planning on coming into the office, cool. I'll have your copy waiting for you. And if you haven't ordered a copy yet, it is available on Amazon, or you can order directly from me using Cash App. Topo, I didn't say the Cash App. You can order a copy directly from me using Cash App and just put in the comments your contact information so I can get that out to you next day FedEx. Or if you're picking up a copy from my office, just let me know so that I can have it ready for you. And make it a great day, everybody.
Hey, John,
Yes, sir.
and all of our other Jewish friends on this call.
Yes.
Shana Tova. Good and
Yes.
sweet, my friends.
There you go. Thank you for that.
Manitoba.